welcome to our show Shalom from Olive Tree. Today I'm your host Galina Kuptsova and my guest teacher Sergey Kuptsov.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your emails, your phone calls, and of course thank you so much for your questions. More and more about how to study the Bible, how to go deeper in the Bible. Because sometimes we think, open for example the new one of the chapter of Genesis. If we think, oh, everything is look at simple, the God created the world, and of course Eve, she has an apple and they give to Adam, and we're missing a lot, because if we're going deeper, it's much more than apple and the creation and the 6 days of creation of God. And today I think we're going to talk about what is more deeper, what is much deeper in the book of Genesis and the 1 Corinthians and the book of Job and Psalms. All right, Sergey, let's start.
Let's start. And the common opinion on maybe in churches today that we're always coming through so fast of first and second chapter of Genesis, everything clear. We know where is a Garden of Eden, we know that this day and this day, but more and more you study, and when you're going to the Hebrew studies of these chapters, there is a very complicated chapters. And there is lots of questions.
Yeah,
and a lot of questions
we
just
cannot
answer if we're honest to ourselves, And we're trying to fix something to give it, but it's wrong way to teach, because the best way when we have answers, let them be, rather than we're trying to fix something and have a wrong answers or teachings. Reading of those chapters, I ask myself a question, that do I have a right even to, and the possibility to talk about God? He's a perfect, I'm not. He's holy. And what we are, we're not perfect. How unperfect can understand perfect?
That's right.
And interesting, there is a lot of question, but reading what give us a right to understand this, and because there is lines in His image and likeness. I will never ever understand God. Nobody on this planet, no one person on this planet lived or living right now can understand God until He revealed Himself. He revealed Himself. That's all we know about God. He revealing Himself to us. Nothing from us, nothing to be proud. Oh, I know something, because He's revealing. And interesting, many things forbidden in Hebrew culture, like drawing pictures of picturing God and everything. But we're reading, there is sometimes left hand, right hand, God upset, God doing this and this. We're picturing this, whereas there is a contradiction.
We cannot skip the imagination,
That's
because we
right.
still think.
And God create us in image and likeness for this purpose, for us to understand many things, but not all of them, to understand what He's talking to us. He's simplifying you, make it maybe smaller to us to understand. And what else? Yes, and there is where is a God forbid to make a pictures, as I see this, it's a God forbid to make spiritual, for us to make spiritual as a material.
Okay.
We cannot imagine the God Himself, because we are too small. Only He can reveal who He is. And Yeshua said, "You see me, you see God." And interesting, why God, why we have this shape and form of our body?
That's right.
No, it's not an accident, We have this shape, these forms of body, And if God is spirit, if God is a spiritual God, spirit, that's in His image, in His spiritual image, that's we are looks like the whole universe, because He's spirit. He's all around of this.
Okay.
We can. And there is interesting immediately. The whole universe is his temple, yeah? And if you and me, you are the temple, God.
Yes,
yeah?
yes. Yeah.
Through the pole, I think, yeah, through the pole. And that we cannot make on the creation of God, or tattoos changing our gender,
Yes.
or that, because it's not.
It's a poison for the temple. We
That's
cannot
right.
do
That's
that.
right.
Yes.
And many things coming on this, and he is revealing because his will.
And excuse me, and one more thing, we cannot be unhappy with our body and our face because it still belongs to
In
God.
his image
in
and
his
likeness.
Image. How we can be unhappy?
And he said that's perfect.
Yes. How?
Yeah, and I cannot change it
It's right.
because that's the sin.
Yeah, change my nose or change
Oh,
my,
the
this.
good Christian
It's
tattoo.
right.
You know, no, because if we represent our as a
Amen.
temple of,
Yes.
as a through,
Yes.
you know, edification of whole universe,
Yes.
that's just incredible. How many processes go through our body? Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
everything so complicated and unique. And reading the chapter 1 and chapter 2, I found interesting things.
So in book of Genesis, chapter 1, chapter 2, yes?
Yes. Look
All
at
right.
this. For example, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Okay.
And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light,
Was good.
that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Look at this. Actually, God said, and everything happened, yeah? What he said. Literally, God created us. Literally, we have been created by letters.
That's right. Even by the sound. you can
Speech,
say it's
sound, it goes to,
Yes.
you know, yeah, letters identify the sound. Interesting
Okay.
things, yeah, coming here. And the first day, I have a question. There is a day and night, and there was no sun created yet. Because why I'm saying that, how we understand the first chapter and second chapter, we immediately understand from our point of view in our experience, being in the body. There is a spiritual stuff here. There is a really spiritual stuff, and everything goes. If somebody want to make the great people who made a plane or something great for people, the first was the spiritual.
Yep.
It was a huge. It comes to the paper, smaller.
Yep.
The people working on it and making product. Yeah. And that is where we should see what God made. We immediately see, aha, there is a day, there is a light, but sun was not there. How I call? Because later on, chapter 14, and God said, let there be the light in the. Can you read?
Verse 14.
Yeah.
The God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate day from the night, and let them be for signs and for the seasons and for days and years.
But look, day and the night already been.
But he said the signs to separate. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, but he already knew.
Yes.
You know, for us. And how we read? We read from our point of view when confusing ourselves. And another mark, we should ask ourselves questions. Look at this. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Everything God created, in chapter 1, everything God created before he created the man.
The man.
Everything was created. In chapter 2, everything goes, look at this, that the heaven and the earth were finished, and all the host of them.
Okay.
Everything was finished, you know. And we're reading again of creation creation of the man, and there was nothing but the man.
That's right.
Because there was no rain, because of there was nothing, and everything appears after man was created. We should ask questions of what it was, how it was.
Why this is
That's
happening,
right,
yes.
you know. And I'm thinking that first was created within the God.
Okay.
Can you imagine this within the God as in absolute unity? And second, God created separately, yeah, because He breathed in the man, and put him like in separation out of him, yeah, in some place.
Okay.
And of course, only man could pray, yeah, ask God for the rain.
That's right.
So everything comes later, yeah.
And this is actually, we can consider it's a first prayer.
Yes, and we can consider we can see in New Testament when on the Passover time, Last Supper, Passover time, God changed the order.
Yeah.
Yeshua changed the order because in Jewish Hebrew understanding of Kiddush, that the first goes wine
And the bread.
and the bread, yeah, bread from
Next.
heaven,
That's
God
right.
coming, yeah, and He
And
exchanged.
Yeshua changed, yes.
Yeah, bread that He said as bread from heaven, and wine second. Yeah,
1 second. Okay.
we should talk and pray about this many things. And secondly, there is many things like this. And I would like to read what we're talking about spiritual, and
Okay.
spiritual where is everything located. One day we had an unpleasant conversation with some people. They were so determined that things garden is somewhere at
place
on
of
the
Iraq
planet
or
Earth.
just- yes,
Iraq.
yeah.
Read please for the 2 Corinthians.
Okay, 2
12.
Corinthians chapter 12, and we're going to read from the beginning, yeah?
Yeah.
Verse 2. I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago, whether in body or I don't know, or out of body, I don't know, God knows, such a man was caught up in the third heaven. And I know how such a man, whether in the body or apart from the body, I do not know, God knows, was caught up into paradise and heard unexpressible words, which man is not permitted to speak.
Okay, look at it. Very often, garden calls to be a paradise.
It's right.
It's in the third heaven, not
It's sometimes
place
people
of
will just
Iraq.
putting all the things together, the heaven, the paradise, you know, this, everything kind
No,
of, you know,
most of
this-
the time,
yeah.
you know, scholars saying the paradise is a place of Garden of Eden.
Eden.
You know, at the third heaven.
Okay.
You know, if we have a third heaven, I think we had a second,
So we have the second
and we
verse.
have a first one.
That's right.
First one, what is second heaven? Yeah, it's we're gonna talk later on. Third heaven, and if we have a third heaven, and we see that God create Eden, a Garden of Eden, and put a man over there. Yeah, something different.
That's right.
And there is a book, 2 chapters, gives us a lot of questions and answers, because it's a spiritual book. We cannot. We're trying to think on
In our human being, you know,
material,
yes,
materialistically,
yes.
trying to explain spiritual
Creation of the
one. You know,
whole
because you know, yes, because and the spiritual one we cannot see, but this is a foundation of everything.
That's right.
And God hide it. What the reason God hide it? We remember we're in temple. We have a curtains.
Yes,
Up to
curtain.
some part curtain up.
Yeah.
Some point. Sorry, for my
Curtains,
English, yeah.
Мультики.
Curtain. Yep.
Yes.
And that was a hiding process. And God, interesting. I have. I think I have this to
What do you
God. I'm reading 2 Corinthians. Corinthians 5:18. And all things are of God, who has reconciled us to Himself by Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Look at this. God needed Yeshua to reconcile. You know,
everything.
yeah, reconcile us. Because there is a reason. Again, you know, the reason because God is spirit.
Yes.
He needed someone here
Okay.
to act. God is spirit. Why spirit couldn't reconcile? The God as himself, yeah? Why he didn't need a son? And we always counting, especially scholars counting, everything is, they're saying 13.7 billion years of the planet Earth and everything. We see some improvements. That is a million years. That is a billion years of age. And everything. But why? Because we're starting. Yes, we agree with this. It can be because people, scholars, trying to continue to count materialistically from the day of creation, to this day. But of days of creation, from it was a spiritual time.
That's right.
And in one day, everything appears here, you know, as material, like this, like this, you know. And interesting, we're starting count in spiritual, not knowing how to count in spiritual.
Okay.
Plus, we're taking 5,007 years here, and we're talking about this. You know, no, we should. The 6 days is a 6 period of creation. Where in spiritual realms, there can be billions of years.
Yes,
we cannot, or maybe it was just 6 days, but forgot 1 day is a 6 day.
Yes.
Einstein said to us, the higher you're going to the different planets, and there may be 500 years here and 1 day in your spaceship. There is always a mistake how we're counting this 2 chapters.
That's right.
We have to. We cannot understand many things until God probably got making questions in here.
If we cannot just think, you know, okay, this is 2 chapters different. Okay, whatever. You know, we cannot, you know, just kind of missing this. And then, okay,
that's right. There is
no. We have to study.
We study and ask God to reveal Himself what He meant. This is what He meant. By this, you know, and even He said, we're saying, look at this. There is air. Where we're taking sound, air, a lot of air. Everything, air doesn't do anything, but you're taking part, go through the filters, filters, vocals, and there is a sound, not continuing, but with pause. The sound A, sound M, L, that, you know, they're making this different, and we have a letters. And words.
So we transform air, you know, to the outer
words.
sound, to our
and look
speech.
at this small portion of air, small from big, and we have a work done. We have a word. People, the man who can speak. It's another question. We can talk. Why he speak? Because there is a prototype how God created. And the interesting thing is. Small part. Make it limited. Make it smaller. Jesus, remember, Yeshua was in the body.
Yes. Yeah.
There is a gain, you know. He came through.
For reconciliation, you need, you know, the flesh, the body. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in the body. There is a lot of questions.
But it's still, you know, the spiritual matter. You know, they came, you know, transformed to the flesh, came to the earth.
It became small.
Yes.
To do the job.
And you remember the book of Job, and we talked about this before. He talked about, you know, I would love to read this part, you know, I love it. The book of Job, chapter 19, verse 25. As for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and that at last he will take his stand on the earth, even after my skin is destroyed. Yet from my flesh I shall see God. That's
flesh according to something. We can study. Look at it. And one more thing I forgot to tell you. There is a God put Adam in garden. There was one заповедь, как сказать? Commandment. One commandment. When Adam made a mistake and
it was multiplied.
Get out from the paradise, we had a lot of commandments. That's what we're talking about. Look at this. Psalm 133 saying one thing.
Behold how good, how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity.
God's will is unity.
Yep.
That's why Yeshua said, I came for the lost sheep of Israel, 10 tribes, to be united with the south kingdom of Judea, you know, and for us to be in unity, because we are far away from God. God hiding himself. Yeah, we cannot see him because we're in different dimension. But God's purpose, God's will to be in unity with him, in him. And that is must be our purpose, to be in unity. The far away you from God, the more divisions you have, the more denominations you have, the more things you have. Because first church was one church.
Yes, where is the Jew and
And
Gentiles
after Constantine, where it was destroyed everything of Hebrew, and we have a new religion with millions of different churches and different organizations. No, unity must be granted from God, so we can be not produced by people.
You're absolutely right, because you know in the first level we still read the Psalms, you know, so many times, and people, you know, the preaching, you know, oh, it's so good for fellowship, you know, for brothers and sisters together, to have a meal together, you know, to spend time together. But it's nothing, you know, to do with this, because unity is more deeper. It's you have to be unity with God, and of course, you know, more and more come back to the Hebrew roots.
Will of God is His unity.
More and more come back with the first church. You know, they live, how to live, you know, how to ministry to people. We're so far away from this first.
And I think that we put a lot of questions today. And that's good, you know, for people to talk about why we have such a difference in chapter 1, chapter 2. You know, why God need a savior. Why God couldn't save himself, you know.
That's right, yeah. Why?
And that is everything we can see in the same time about unity, about our life with God.
You know, we have to pay attention. Sometimes we're missing, you know, they don't pay attention to the small things. Like, yes, to get up to the third heaven, to paradise. Why? Why is this? It's in the Bible. It's so important. We have to study more. I can say, you know, like a details study.
Yes,
because
yes,
there are a lot of details.
Answers.
You know, you can see the full picture. The more truthful pictures, more knowledge will become to you when you know. From Him. When you know the more about God. You will have more belief. More belief, because it will be just written on your heart.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching us, and please write to us. You know, I think, you know, we put so many questions today than answers. Maybe it's good. Maybe you have an answer. We can talk about, you know, your answer. What do you think about this chapter? Because everyone is thinking, look at everything. It's fine. 6 days and 7 days. You know, He got rested. Please write to us, and welcome to our Shabbat service, what is happening every Saturday, every Shabbat, 11 o'clock in the morning. Goodbye, shalom.